So guys, today we're gonna talk about or discuss about the topic 7 about speaking and pronunciation, and who will be the first speaker?
I'm gonna be the first speaker.
Ghania, thanks first.
Okay, so I'm gonna explain about my understanding of speaking in implied linguistic. So as we know, speaking we always use when we want to give some information or knowledge or something or some conversation and to get some information. So the meaning of speaking is the delivery of language through the mouth. To speak, we create sounds using many parts of our body. For example, is lungs, vocal cords, tongue, teeth, and mouth. Speaking also is verbal communication done by someone and someone else to say something. They say something to give or change some information. And also speaking is interactive process where information is shared. So when we want to get some knowledge or information from other people, we have to speak, like ask some questions to that people or something. And next, I'm gonna talk about turn talking. Turn talking is people that speak one by one. For example, is person A initiates the conversation by asking questions, and person B responds with an answer. So person A then after that follows up with other questions that related to the topic, and person B have to respond it again. So it's like it gonna make the conversation long, or we can follows up the conversation. And the speaker take turns uh, speaking and listening in a coordinated way to maintain the full flow of the conversation. So it makes the conversation more natural or something. So until the end. So it's gonna make long conversation. Next, I'm going to explain about topic management. So topic management, in my opinion, is refer to the related topic subjects discussed by the speakers during the turn talking. So it's like the speakers have to know about all of related to the topic. So if someone trying to ask about several questions of that topic, speakers have to know the answer easily. So I think that's all of topic management. So next is issues in pronunciation. In my understanding, issues in pronunciation is like most happened to people that their first language is not English. So for example, is me. My first language is Indonesian, and when I want to learn about English, I have to know the grammar, the vocab, the how to pronounce some words, the sentences like that. So sometimes some pronunciation of word people gonna mispronounce it because of the same letters. For example, is envy. Envy is for the beginners they gonna pronounce it and why, because some words that end y, they're gonna pronounce it and why Spotify, like that, the other example. So they thought that envy. The pronunciation of envy is envy because of the Spotify and several. That's all. And so the native speakers said that envy is uh, the correct pronunciation. I think that's all from me. Who's the second speakers?
I'm gonna be the second speaker.
Okay, time
Okay.
is yours.
Okay, thank you. So well, today our topic is speaking. So yeah, we know that speaking is our daily activity, like what we are doing right now that we speak, and learning speaking can develop our knowledge. Like we can be more communicative, and we can ask in question, or we can learn how to speak in the right time, and also to produce and manage some interactions. And we do this activity, we do speaking to deliver or socialize, and deliver the message in some context. Like in speaking, we also use tone or stress in some words to uh, tell our listener that this word, or that the word that we stress is the important one, maybe. Or we can use the up tone or down tone to make variation in our speaking, so it's not monotone. So different intonation and stress can deliver different meaning. Like maybe some miscommunication because of the wrong tone when we talk to our friends, that made up a miscommunication. This one also was the issue. And that the way we speak also show us our identity, like commun which community we are from, or which environment we grow up from. And our pronunciation takes a responsibility to our intelligibility to deliver a message that we want to, even though we are not in a good mood or not in a stable emotion. So the an issue in speaking, that when we speak, like right now, that we cannot pull back what we said before. It's different from writing, right? Because in writing we can delete some words and change it to another word that may be suitable more to the sentence. But in speaking we cannot do that, because we do it um uh not constant, but in the real time. Like we cannot do some editing in the way we speak. And also, but there is the time when we speak that it's already being planned. It when we talk in broadcast, or maybe we tell a short stories, something like that is already planned before. Or the meetings, like today, maybe we know, I mean, we all prepare it for what gonna we're gonna talk today, right? We prepare our material. And also, uh when we speak, we have to be really concerned that our listener can understand what we say. And there's also some genre of speaking, like we use the genres concept to see that what kind of interaction that we do. It's sometimes it's like joking, or maybe we talk to the doctor, to consult to a doctor, or maybe that's a transactional conversation when we, like maybe you order some meal from Gojek, maybe that's a transactional conversation. And also there are two commonly genre, that chat and chat is when the conversation is interactive, like um maybe the discussion when we are at the class. And chunk is when one speakers hold the floor. It's like the presentation is just due by one speaker, like we are today, that we speak one by one. That's called chunk. And there's also some generic structure when we talk. Is like the orientation, complication. It sometimes happen when we, tell us a story. And there's also the exchange is the structure when the speaker, it still can, can talk because the listener, uh, like give some response, and give some response by the listener. And so the conversation is not just due it's not just due by the speaker. And also there's turn taking turn type is when, like, when we talk and the listener start talking again, or maybe or maybe the speaker choose which person will talk later, that we talk next. Or there's also the topic management when we manage the topic, so the listener can understand what we want to talk about. And pronunciation also the biggest part, the important part in speaking, because the right pronunciation can easily understand by the listener. There's also ton units or chunking when we talk, that we use many very ton, and uh it shows what we want to deliver. I mean, and also there's stress and unstressed, like we stress some words to make to to mark that this one is important, and then unstress some because it's not really important. But this unstressed and stress cannot be used freely, because it has its own rules. I think that's all I can talk about this material. I give it to the next speakers. Thank you. Who's gonna be the next?
Okay, I'm gonna be the next speaker.
Okay, your it's your turn. So
Okay. So this is my chance to deliver my comprehension, my understanding about our topic is speaking and pronunciation. So as we all know, and as our two friends has spoken about this topic, speaking is very close to our life, because we are speaking now. I'm speaking now, and we speak in our every time in our life. And speaking is one of skills in language. So speaking, it means like we want to deliver information, we want to talk about something, we want to deliver a message to our listener, or just talking, or just do our storytelling. It's a part of speaking activity. So for the first one, I want to talk about in speaking we usually use so many clauses rather than in writing, because in speaking like this we use clause, and we put the conjunction between clause to the another clauses to the another clause. And then after but it's very different when we are in writing, because in writing we should make a sentence on combine a clause with the correct punctuation and conjunction. So in speaking, as May and Ghania said before, we cannot change or do the revise of what we have spoken before to our listener, because it's like the directly interaction. It's very different in writing. So and also in speaking, there are some genre
This genre is like the we can divide it based on the situation where we are speaking. For examples, we are in a hospital, so we speak with doctor to do the consultation. So it's different when we are speaking in class in campus or we speaking at home to our parents. It's very different ways and form that we use in speaking. And then after that I'm going to talk about the issue in the characteristic of, before I'm going to the issue of the pronunciation, I would like to talk about the characteristic of it's like a part of speaking is narrative when we want to tell our story or do the narration. So for the first is about the introduction. So we should introduce our topic first, and we speak from the beginning until the climax or the conflict or the my idea that what we want to speak, and after that there's resolution to the solve of the conflict or the decrease the conflict that we are the topic that we are speak. So the next is about the pronunciation issue. The pronunciation is the most important part of speaking, because because the pronunciation is how we speak the word, how we uh understand the features of the words, such as in phonology we have phonemes, and how we uh how we apply the phonemes, the phonology in our speaking. So it means like our pronunciation, the good pronunciation will avoid the misunderstanding to our speaking activity. So for the first is some of them based on my comprehension is provenance, if I'm not mistaken. It is like the syllables. So we we do the stress in a specific or particular syllables of the word. For example, snake board. So we do the syllable snake, and board is like, yeah, just on a stress, or yeah, just usually we speak, but we do the stress in snake. So the next is about the turn turn speaking is it means like we do the shift our the speaking time to the another, or maybe we have a conversation with our friends or our listeners. So we give the chance to our audience, our listeners, to do the speaking or do the chit chat with us to make it more communicative. So the next is about the social and context background. It is like when we are in the speaking activities, we should know about the social background or the culture background of language that we use, and also where we are where we speaking. uh I mean like the country or the region. For examples, in English or any regions in this world, there are different tones that we use when we are angry or when we are happy, on when we want to do the sarcastically emotion to our listener. It's very different because in some regions in Indonesia also have a different social culture of speaking. For example, when we are angry and we talk to someone, we do the slow tone. It means like different with another region. Uh when they are angry and they are speaking, they use the fast or speed tone. It's very different. And also we should know the cultural background in order to we not offend or we not do the offending to when we are speaking, we avoid the misunderstanding to our listeners. And then the tone up and tone down, like what I explained before, it's very important to know about the tone when we are speaking in specific situation or particular situation. And the next is about the stress and unstressed words. So stress and unstressed word is very important because the stress can change the meaning also of the words, because um yeah, especially in English, it's very important to for the um li- for the for us as study English, or for student study the foreign language. And next is about the connection between the linguistics features and speaking or and pronunciation. Based on my understanding is about phonology. You know, in phonology we learn about the phonemes and phonology, where it consists to the word include in the word that we speak. So it's very important for us to master, to understand the features of linguistics, such as phonology, discourse, also the syntax, and also the semantics and pragmatics. When we speak, it's very important to avoid the misunderstanding, to avoid all the bad thing that will happen when we are in a speaking activities. So I think that's all from me, from my understanding. So we can go on to the next speaker.
So let me be the next speakers. There are some opinion that I agree that the speaker before, like Ghania, me, and uh, Silvia. So I want, in my view, based on what I read, speaking and pronunciation, that we agree that that is part of daily life, right? Speaking is crucial aspect of daily life, often occurring in cultural and social context. But why, how, and when to communicate, and we often communicate that so speaking the part of daily life. So speakers anticipate that various types of interaction and language they might use in a relation to a genre using both obligatory and optional elements. So pronunciation is focusing on how speech sounds, contribute to communicate or conversation that speakers are not entirely free in their stress placement. And so the speech is a continuous stream without clear cut borderlines between individual sounds, and speakers often minimize their articulatory effort through assimilation, elision, and linking. So spelling is also important, so part of daily life, and we tend to take it for granted. However, learning speaking in a verse or other language uh, about developing knowledge about why and how and when to be we communicate. So the most important aspect of everyday like us thought is that is always takes place in cultural and social context, right? And we speak in order to carry out various social activities, and although we may not always be consciously aware of doing so, that we wish to exchange to our specific purposes for speaking in that context. In my point of view, this is in speaking. Many spoken interaction consists of commenting on immediate action or events or casually moving from one topic to another. However, it is also true that some types of speech might be planned in advance, such as meetings or written to be spoken, such as news or broadcast in YouTube. So, next genre of speaking. So, one way we can think about spoken discourse at a macro level. The concept of discourse types or genres, and in daily life, we use this concept repeatedly to identify the kinds of interaction in which we are involved. For example, speeches, jokes, doctor consultation, or etc. So, the social process indicating that genre involves within culture and its social institutions. Social processes are purposeful and it usually takes a number of steps to achieve one purpose. Um, Within particular social context, having identified genres with their different purposes, speakers also anticipate the various kinds of interaction and language that they may use in relation to a genre. Purposeful language variation in speaker will involve recognizing the overall shape or structure of the text, but also selecting from the vast repertoire of language resources available to us. So genres contain both obligatory and optional elements like abstract and coda, and will not be present in all instances of narrative. However, the obligatory elements are the key elements and must be present for a text to be defined and recognized as a reflective of a particular genre. So, is this in pronunciation? About the working of spoken discourse so far, there is another level at which we can analyze speaking, pronunciation, and the role it plays in getting our meaning across. And revisiting some of the aspect of speaking we described above, then we can fine-tune our analysis to consideration of how the actual songs we produce contribute to communication and to less stress and unstress that I agree with the speaker before, like Silvia, May, and Ghania, and I get it. I agree and get it from them. So it is all from me, maybe. So let let move to the last speaker.
Okay, I'm the last speaker. In my view, is language cannot be isolated from the negotiation and attainment of meaning in social interactions that it is employed for in daily life. Speaking is a common action that people engage in on a daily basis. Talk about culture and society is the most crucial part of casual conversation. Unlike written communication, oral communication results from the development and negotiation of words. It is natural for listeners and speakers to produce and process oral communication. When speaking with others, speakers must adjust the language context to the message being expressed while paying attention to the listener's nonverbal and vocal clues. Regarding macro level spoken discourse, humans tend to emphasize on the idea of discourse type or genre. In social and cultural institutions, genres emerge through a goal-oriented social process. Genre is essential to reaching one's objective. Speakers are aware of the different kinds of interaction and language they employ that pertain to genres because they have defined genres for a variety of reasons in their social life. The focus of semantic structures is on all of the ways a text develops. A spider text is an autobiographical narrative that provides amusement in order to end a crisis and makes its structure clear. An abstract introduces a story by summarizing and stating its core idea. Complications are events in a timeline centered around a dilemma or crisis that from the core of the story. The process of pronunciation aims to capture every facet of a person's usage of sound in communication. Speech action are motion involving the body, such as pantomime, eye movement, and body gestures. There are specific patterns in the way a speaker organizes their voice to convey ideas that might provide the listener crucial information about the process they are hearing. One illustration of this is the way people in a given group frequently discuss phone numbers. Differences in this pattern can be seen across linguistic cultures. Sentence level learning has the following advantage. It is simple to teach formal language knowledge and skills as a foundation for communication. It is also to criticize and assess skills and pronunciation, grammar, and vocabulary. Abstract remains the best material in language teaching because it can shield language from the complexities of context. It uses formal language as the basis for well-formed sentences that are crucial to comprehend and recognize, and the treatment of language as a tool has proven successful in revealing ways of speaking. One argument centered on text dialogue is used to teach language, but dialogue also introduces students to real-life discourse, including general structure and grammar choices. This means that communicative competence calls for more than just producing and understanding dialogue. Focusing on discourse and text helps students analyze appropriate language use, and discourse-based activities help students expand their communicative repertoire and improve their ability to communicate in the target language outside of the classroom. Language and pronunciation play a significant role in creating meaning. So that's all from us. Thank you for watching and see you.